Video walkthrough on a Coleman toy hauler. Oh, geez. First thing in the back, you are pre-wired for a backup camera. Now, it does not have one. That's a separate purchase. If you want one, you can have us install it. And then it does use power from those marker lights up there, so the running lights on your tool vehicle need to be on for it to work. Now, normally I demonstrate how to use these ramp doors, but these are locked, and these are keyed specifically to this camper, and I don't have the keys to this camper. You guys will have it when you guys come to get it, but I don't have the specific keys. But you'd unlock it, pull this tab up, push this down, and swivel this out, and the ramp is on springs, so it'll be easy to kind of lower for you. Cable inlet, so if you're going something that provides cable, you can go in through there. You got a gray tank back here. I always make sure that valve is closed before I take this cap off. Hook my hose up, dump the gray tank. But I do recommend doing the black tank first. That's over here. Hook your hose up to the black tank, pull the valve, dump it, let it get all the way dumped, and then I would carefully carry my hose over here, hook up to gray, and then dump the gray tank. That'll flush all of the black tank water out of the hose, so it's slightly less gross to carry around. City water, this is where you're going to hook your hose up to. More often than not, to run off of your city water pressure, you won't need to use your pump or anything like that. Show cord, it's 50 amp. This is your show cord. It'll be in one of the compartments. Twist it to lock it, and then you can always tighten this for extra security. Your side seals, every once in a while, you're going to inspect them, make sure they're not dry or cracked or anything like that. If you do notice that, you can take it in and we can perform what's called a slide out maintenance, or you can buy the necessary materials to do it yourself. And you know what? We're not actually plugged in. Give me 1 second. That's why I plug you guys in. I don't want to stop this recording. Now y'all are plugged in. Pass-through storage here. Plenty of room for any unruly children. You got unloaded vehicle weight. So right now, as this trailer sits, it weighs 6,964 pounds. Then you have cargo carrying capacity. You could do, let me flip the phone around. You can do your, it's got your, where is it at? Your fin right there. You need that for insurance. You got your model on it here. This is important right here. 65 PSI, that's what you want to fill it at. Not to what your tires say, but 65 PSI. Group 24 RV marine grade battery. Brand new battery, you don't have to worry about getting a new one. In the winter, I recommend taking the battery out. It's doing it somewhere warmer than sitting outside. And then in the summer, I recommend disconnecting the negative lead off the battery. Not in the summer, but between trips, if you're going to store it for a week or two, you don't want anything using that battery, just disconnect the negative lead. There's a spot for another battery here if you'd like to have two batteries. When you hook them up, you would do positive to positive, negative to negative. You're hooking them up in parallel, not series. You don't want 24 volts running through this, you'll ruin it. Propane tank cover, untwist these. Pivot it out of the way, open this up, access to your propane. They are filled. Right here, you got your automatic changeover regulator. See this right here? How it's pointing towards this tank right here. It's going to pull from this tank. If this one were to be emptied and this one were to be on, that's going to automatically switch to pulling from the other tank. However, this does not, got a hand on it, this does not move, indicating it's switched tanks. So keep that in mind. And then some people put it in the middle, thinking it's going to pull from both tanks equally and they don't have to worry about it switching over. It doesn't work that way. I mean, it's one or the other. I always chuckle when I see someone come in for work and I see it for work on their camper and I see it split down the middle like that. I always chuckle because I know that's not right. On or off switch for light here. Raise and lower your tongue jack. It's nice having a power tongue jack. You don't have to hand crank it, so it's super easy. Alright. Got your 7-way here. This will get plugged into the back of your tow vehicle. That's what allows the brakes on the trailer to work, the marker lights, turn signals, and whatnot. Chains, always cross them. Got a breaker right here. This will get hooked up with your truck too. This goes to this little box right here. You get unhooked from your trailer, or your truck rather. for any reason the hitch yoke were to fail, it'll pull that pin out of the box, activate the brakes on the trailer. The side of that storage. Pre-wired Furrion for solar. You have to buy the Furrion kit, but it's all set up on the camper wise, all wired up. All that does is trickle charge your battery. Spot for a crank to get access to. An optional spare tire. Does not have one. You'll have to, if you want one, you purchase one separately, and then you can hook it up to there. Now, here's the part I like to reiterate a bunch of. So, stabilizer jacks. These are your buttons for your stabilizer jacks. These are not leveling jacks. Do not try to pick up the weight of the trailer with these jacks. You will bend and break them if the self-resetting breaker does not trip. So, extend one. It'll hit the other one. There you go. That's it. Just snug them down. They're stabilizing, like I said, not leveling. If you want your trailer to be level, to level it front to back, use your tongue jack to raise and lower the front to get it level front to back. If you want side to side, as you're backing it into your sight, back it in under some blocks on your tires to get it level side to side. There's a self-resetting breaker in these that'll trip. If you overextend them or hold retract too long after they've been tracked, you hear it click, wait a couple of seconds, it'll click again. If for any reason that breaker will fail and you still aren't listening to me and you're trying to lift up the trailer with these jacks and you amp the motor out and bend the jacks, that's not something we can warranty because that's customer damage. Outdoor outlet is GFCI protected. All your GFCI outlets are on the same circuit. If one's going to trip, they're all going to trip. Fresh water, this is where you're going to rest your hose. Don't jam it in there to fill your fresh tank. Monitor its progress on the panel inside. Don't wait till you hear water squirt out everywhere. Definitely recommend draining it after every trip. You don't want it sitting half full of water for a couple of weeks because it'll get stagnant and it'll be a pain in the butt to rinse out. So, right there is your drain for your fresh water. Water heater, super simple to use. The only thing you guys have to do when you get it, put this plug in that hole right there. 15/16 is the socket size. I use a short socket with an extension and a ratcheting wrench. Get it tight by hand. Tighten it the rest of the way. Don't over tighten it. It is plastic. Once you get the plug in, as soon as you hook up water, whether it be from your fresh tank via the pump or your city water via the hose, I'm going to automatically start filling. Once it's full, you can kick it on. Like I was saying, drain it after every trip. Before you pull your plug out to drain it, open up your pressure relief. Water will squirt out. That's fine. Everything out here is designed to get wet. Once it stops squirting out, snap it closed. Then you can take the plug out. If you neglect to do this, you're going to get a bath. And if you've been running your water heater, you're going to get a hot bath. So keep that in mind. And then recommend cleaning in here and in here once a quarter, 4 times a year. Vent for a fridge just for airflow. Keep it clean back here. Every once in a while I recommend taking this off and cleaning back there. Furnace, make sure you clean in here often. They do make screens for these. They don't recommend you run them with a screen on, but I have seen people do it. You didn't hear it from me. It'll keep road debris and insects from building nests in there. That's good for that. Outdoor shower is hot and cold. Let's see if we can get it open so you can see it. And I dropped my keys. Oh boy. See, hot and cold. Then you do have a black tank flush. Like it says here, do not flush the tank until you are draining the black tank. So when you got your hose hooked up to drain the black tank, you can hook your other hose up to here, screw it in there, turn it on. There's a little nozzle in the black tank that'll flush it out as you're draining it. Exterior range vent. Close it like this when you're traveling and overnight. I do it overnight just because I don't want insects crawling in there, traveling so it's not flopping around. Open it when you're using the fan on your range hood. Oh, and that pretty much concludes our exterior tour. We'll make our way onto the inside. We'll knock the bedroom out real quick. Lights in the bedroom, turned on and off at the fixtures themselves. You got outlets, USB ports over here, same on the other side. These doors both work. Unclip them like that. Slide them. Latch closed. Slide them. Make sure when you travel and transport this, you latch them like that. Come over here. Power, coax outlet, spots mounted TV. Make sure you look at the screws that come with any mount you buy. More likely than not, they're going to be too long. And if you use too long of a screw trying to mount your TV and you poke through the outside of the camper, that's not warranty. That's customer damage. I had a customer once say that we needed to warranty it because the sticker was in the wrong spot. Well, you used too long of a screw, sir. Sticker was in the right spot. And then plenty of storage here. Click the light above the bed, and I do believe there is storage under the bed. That's the backup crank for your tongue jack. Another spot to mount a TV here. Power outlet. Cable. So this one right here, ignore it. You have to buy the Furrion, not the Furrion, the WineGuard Wi-Fi stuff. This is the one you're looking at, antenna power. Turn that on if you're going to use your antenna. Turn it off if you're using the cable. Radio is super simple. Power on. You can change your channels here. Volume knob. Zone, so hit zone 1. Turns the inside ones off. Just leaves the outside ones on. And then vice versa. You can see how that could be useful. And then you have presets, push and hold to save, preset, pause, play, stop, rewind, forward, fast forward, also skip channels, Bluetooth. You'd look for DV3050-SB on your phone, the Furrion, pair your phone to it. Sometimes they ask for a pen. It's going to be either all ones, all zeros, or 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you have auxiliary input, headphone jack, USB. USB does not interface with here, just to charge your phone. And then you do have a remote right here, and then you should have a remote. You got a fireplace there. Now, not all fireplaces have remotes. So if we don't find one, it's probably more than likely doesn't have one. I'm going to set this down so I can look real quick. Found it! There's a couple more things I want to show you. So, while we're off topic, we might as well finish up with the topic we're off of. I know you can't see me, but you can hear me. This book right here is going to have all your manuals for it. There'll be a generalized manual called a Dutchman manual. The Dutchman manual. In here somewhere. That's very broad. It doesn't cover the specific unit exactly, but it covers most of Dutchman's products. And then they do also give you a toilet paper roll holder. The only reason they didn't mount it themselves is because no matter where the factory is going to mount it, someone out there is going to complain it's not in the right spot. And then a little tip, because we've had this issues before, if you mount the toilet paper roll holder and you damage something mounting it, or it becomes loose, that's not warranty because you installed that part, not the factory. Remote for your fireplace, hit power. Come on down here, hit a little screen here. You change Fahrenheit, Celsius, dim the flame, which also changes amount of heat, I believe, yep. And then timer, and then you got temperature of the heat. Very simple. Put the remote up over there. Microwave works just like your microwave at home. Only gonna work when you're plugged in. Cooktop, super simple. Fold this up and back. Turn this to the flame. Just a sparker. The gas is off, so that just bled all the gas out of the lines. So that's easy for the stove. For the oven's a little bit different. Turn this to the flame, push and hold. As you're pushing and holding that, twisting the sparker, and then you're looking for that pilot in there to be lit. Once it's lit, you'll be able to turn it to whatever temperature you want. If you plan on cooking it again in a few hours, just turn it to the flame. It shuts the burners off, leaves the pilot on. Make sure you turn the pilot off before you leave the campground, before you go to bed, before you go outside, leave it unattended. You just don't want to leave a lit pilot unattended. And then light switch down does the oven and these knobs. Middle is off, up is just the knobs. Right here, turns into a bed. Lift the table up, pop them legs off, rest the table on these bumpers, and play puzzle with your cushions to fill in the gap. This table also works another way. That little piece right there is removable, and then you can basically put the legs, swap where the legs are. So we'll swap these two legs with the spots over there, and then the table will we'll rotate 90 degrees, and this will turn it into, instead of a U-shaped bench, a dual-sided dinette bench. Then you do have breaker box right here, all your breakers for your 120 volt appliances, all your fuses for your 12 volt. definitely recommend keeping him some spare fuses just in case something were to happen. You have a fuse to replace it with. Fridge is super simple. Just hit this to turn it off and hit it again to turn it on. Its only mode is auto, so it's going to default to 110. If someone were to trip over your show code, get it unplugged, or the campground would lose power anyway, this will automatically switch to running off your propane if your propane were to be on. If the propane is not on, this light will turn orangish red. A lot of times too, even though if the propane is on, it hasn't reached the fridge yet. So if you know you have to run it on propane because you're primitive camping somewhere, get one of the burners on the stove light. Once it's lit, you know it's kind of close enough to get the fridge to work. Thermostat, super simple. Tap it. You have modes, auto, high, and low. Auto is going to allow it to regulate whatever temperature you have it set. So if your AC set to 60, once it hits 60, it'll cycle off, and then as it warms back up in here, it'll cycle back on to help regulate the temperature. If you were just running it on high or low, it won't cycle off. And the reason I don't recommend doing that all the time is because if it's really hot and humid out here, and you're running it consistently, eventually your AC will freeze up. Also, when you have it on just fan, and eventually it'll turn on. But it'll just be the fan. So right now it's just blowing air from outside here, which is good to circulate air. So I like to have it on auto. Tap it again, you were cool. It goes all the way down to 55. Tap it again, it goes to furnace. Your furnace goes all the way to 90. These can be a little finicky. If you accidentally hit up and down, you're playing with it and you know it's 32 degrees. What? It's because you accidentally switched it to Celsius. So that switch it back, hit up and down at the same time. Very simple. We'll go into the bathroom right now. Light switch here. Resettable GFCI. This is the GFCI you're going to hit reset at. And if any of them would have tripped, this is the one you reset it at. Plenty of storage in here. Shower. Very simple. Hot and cold. Shower head. You got a fan up here with a vent lid. Open that up, run the fan. Definitely recommend running the fan when you're going to take a hot shower. Toilet, super simple, and they still have to go through and clean this, so this won't be like this when you receive it. They do give you complimentary tank bowl cleaner there, or black tank cleaner. As long as you're pushing this pedal, it'll just keep flushing. When it's hooked up to water, water will just keep squirting out until you let off the pedal. That's pretty much it for the bathroom. We'll go into the toy hauler portion of this. Close this door. Light switch. There's got to be a light switch. Oh, you just turn it on the light right here. And then you got lights on either side over there. Spot to mount a TV in here. Again, GCI, cable outlet. Carbon monoxide alarm. These use as a standard 9-volt batteries. When they start giving the low voltage chirps to replace your battery. You have vents here. So squeeze this and then rotate it out. So if you're pulling in like a dirt bike or golf cart, you can have it vent out so it's not filling this area with fumes. These are jackknife couches. So you can set them up. Yeah, it's very difficult to do one-handed, especially with this table here. I'm going to set your camera down and I'm going to get this table out of the way. I will reset it back the way it was, but for now, table moves, pop them legs out. This is a jackknife couch, so you can lift up underneath here. Spot to sleep in. Other one will do the same thing. You can also use it to create one big platform. But if you're going to haul something, have it down like this, and then you want to, see if I can remember how to do it. Lift up from the side here, from the framework, rather than the cushion itself. Fold this up, and you do have a strap for it. So you take this strap right here, bring it around, strap it, to this strap on the other side of the window. Then you do the same thing for the other couch, and then you can pull your golf cart or whatnot in here. You have tie downs all over the floor for it. And then these do, the middles don't fall down, never mind. Yeah, that's it for back here. You got more lights here. Like I said, I couldn't open the door because of not having the keys, but you get the idea. It creates a little ramp door. Yeah, plenty of storage for any odds and ends in here too as well. All right, then you do have a fire extinguisher by this door, and then you should have the other one by the end of the door. Because with these toy haulers, you're supposed to have one in the back as well. Yep, so you got 2 fire extinguishers. Got a smoke alarm, a 9-volt batteries, just like your carbon monoxide alarm. And then right down here, you have another carbon monoxide, but it's also a propane alarm. That is hardwired to 12-volt system. There's no batteries you have to worry about changing. Alrighty then. Well, that concludes our virtual tour of your Coleman toy hauler. Hope you guys enjoy using this camper. I like these little Colemans. I like having the toy hauler part. Those are my favorite campers, are the toy haulers. So I hope you guys would get good use out of it. Hope you found this video informative, and goodbye.